Who was Dusko Popov in the world of espionage? There are some names that echo through time more than others. Names like James Bond and Mata Hari have become synonymous with the dangerous, alluring world of secrets, lies, and high stakes. But while these names capture the public's imagination in fiction, there is a lesser-known spy whose exploits were far more real and whose impact was felt around the globe. A spy who quite literally saved the world. His name was Dusko Popov. This is the story of the man who was 007 before James Bond. His journalistic background gave him a unique insight into the workings of the media and propaganda, which proved invaluable in the years to come. With war raging across Europe, Popov didn't hesitate. He went straight to the British consulate and offered his services as an interpreter, hoping to contribute whatever he could to the effort. Little did he know that this simple act of patriotism would lead him into the heart of one of the most pivotal operations of the war. Living like Bond, but how did Popov get these messages out? The methods he employed were as daring as the missions themselves. He used invisible ink to write on ordinary pieces of paper, which could blend in with other documents and be sent through regular channels. Once the ink was applied, the message would be clear only under ultraviolet light, ensuring that only those who knew the secret would be able to read it. Other times, he would dictate messages over the phone, hiding his voice with a disguise or send them through diplomatic pouches, taking advantage of the immunity such packages afforded him. From an early age, he displayed a natural charm and charisma, traits that would later help him navigate the treacherous world of espionage. The information Popov provided helped the US prepare defenses and avoid the massive casualties that would have resulted from a surprise attack. He left behind a legacy of courage, charisma, and cunning. The skills he honed during the war didn't leave with him when it ended. He had a successful second career in public relations and journalism, even writing a book titled Spy Story, although this wasn't an autobiography and no one was ever supposed to connect the dots. They recognized his talent for languages, cultures, and people, and his understanding of the Balkans made him an asset in gathering intelligence against the Germans. It's a testament to the power of human resilience, courage, and determination in the face of unimaginable challenges. His life was a gamble, a well-calculated risk that paid off in the form of saving countless lives. Firstly, the nature of his work meant that he had to operate in the shadows. But he wasn't just brave, he was also incredibly smart and resourceful. His ability to think on his feet, adapt to changing circumstances, and exploit opportunities as they arose was truly remarkable. He was the original James Bond, not just in the sense that he operated in the world of espionage, but because he embodied the qualities that made Bond such a compelling character: charm, intelligence, and bravery. Researchers and historians have delved into classified documents, uncovering the truth about his missions and the impact they had on the war. He was the man who saved the world, and his story is a reminder that sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones we never hear about until it is too late. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you never miss an exciting episode. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Books and articles have been written, shedding light on the man who quite literally saved the world. Revealing his identity would compromise his sources and jeopardize future operations. Secondly, the classification of these files ensured that only those with the proper clearance could access them, limiting the spread of sensitive information. Finally, the triumph of fiction over reality played a part in keeping Popov's name out of the limelight. The advent of James Bond and other fictional spies captured the public's imagination, overshadowing the accomplishments of real-life heroes like Popov. Initially, Popov was tasked with missions in neutral countries like Sweden and Switzerland, where he successfully gathered information about German activities. However, it was in the seemingly tranquil Portuguese capital of Lisbon that Popov's role took a dramatic turn. Popov's path to becoming a secret agent wasn't a straightforward one. The year before, Germany had declared war on the United States after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The US wanted to know where the German naval forces were, what their strength was, and when and where they might strike next. Popov was the key to providing this information. In a daring move, Popov devised a plan that involved befriending a prominent German official in Lisbon, a man named Admiral Karl Donitz. Donitz, unaware that he was being watched, played right into Popov's hands, providing valuable insights into Germany's naval strategy and even sharing details about the U-boats, including their numbers and capabilities. What Popov was hearing was crucial and chilling. Germany was planning a major offensive in the Gulf of Mexico, aiming to cripple the US's ability to support its allies. The US needed to know about this, and Popov was determined to deliver the message. Now, the US was determined to retaliate, but they needed intelligence. Enter Popov, stationed in Lisbon as the perfect man for the job. He considered himself a journalist first and foremost, and was even a foreign correspondent for the British newspaper The Daily Telegraph. But his life took a dramatic turn during the Spanish Civil War when he found himself in Barcelona. It was here that he honed his skills in deception and secrecy, working for both sides and mastering the art of living a double life. This experience not only shaped his future, but also provided the foundation for the suave, enigmatic characters we see in spy movies today. Popov was born in Belgrade, Serbia in 1912, then known as Yugoslavia. She became the love of his life, and together they had two children, a son named Michael and a daughter named Catherine. They lived in France until the Germans invaded and then made their way to London. When World War II broke out, Popov and his family weren't just bystanders, they were deeply affected by the conflict. His father, a Serbian Orthodox priest, was imprisoned in a Japanese camp in Shanghai, while his brother was fighting for the Royal Yugoslav Army. These personal stakes heightened Popov's sense of purpose and fueled his desire to contribute to the Allied cause. It was also here in Spain that he met his future wife, Noel. When the war began, Popov was already in London. The Pearl Harbor warning. As the war escalated, Popov's skills caught the attention of the British Secret Intelligence Service, SIS, otherwise known as MI6. By 1941, the battle of wits between the Axis and the Allies was at its peak. At the time, Germany's U-boat campaign was at its most intense, causing havoc in the Atlantic and disrupting crucial shipping lanes. He began sending information back to London immediately, describing the threat posed by the German U-boats and the potential targets in the Gulf. The Pearl Harbor warning was one of the most important pieces of intelligence gathered during the war. Why you've never heard of him? Despite playing a critical role in saving countless lives, Popov's contributions remained shrouded in secrecy for decades. There were several reasons for this. However, in recent years, efforts have been made to bring Popov's story to light. Legacy and final thoughts. Dusko. Popov died in 1980 without ever revealing the full extent of his wartime activities. As we look back on Popov's life, we realize that his story is more than just a tale of espionage. Popov once said, "I was always ready to accept the consequences because if I was caught, I was prepared to die." In a world where good and evil were constantly at war, Popov stood firm, a beacon of hope and resilience. If you like this video, check out our other videos about real-life spies.